My name is Patrick Haffenberg, and I will be talking about my experience in Amplitudo. Our class created a democratic government. We had a prime minister that was elected by Amplitudonian citizens, as well as 4 other MPs who were also elected, named Renu, Ismam, Arjun, and Mashiat. Amplitudo was a medium-sized country with a rich agriculture growing beans, squash, and corn, which is grown all over our vast valleys and springs. We had a rich majority and a poor minority to ensure that all the money was circulating around Amplitudo. This abundance of money was achieved by tourism. Our country was completely different than Canada, besides our charter. In Canada, the government controls the citizens contrary to how the citizens run Amplitudo, and the government really has no power. You could consider Canada to be a rather nice country, while Amplitudo is a country full of enemies based on different groups. My place in Civic Mirror was rather small, but I had a really big outcome. I learned that citizens within our region need to cooperate for things to work, or else nothing will get done and things will turn to chaos. Law can be a pain in the behind sometimes, having to follow every rule and not being allowed to thrive to a great extent. Without laws, though, some people would die while others would thrive greatly. I learned that some humans are quite mean and don't let anything stop them. Everyone needed to try and fight for themselves to stay alive. Our nation didn't bother with the weakest members since they were kinda useless. They didn't have anything, and even if they did, it would have most likely been pooled into a larger group of people where it would have been long forgotten since many people didn't get their stuff back. This shows how selfish people are and how eager they are just to let others die. Our government tried to help by trying to provide basic needs such as guaranteeing 1 food and 1 shelter. However, although the good effort, it just wasn't enough being able to satisfy even one of these needs to everybody, which made everyone really mad. This was because my party decided to outbid the government on buying the power hex. This decision was created to try and overthrow the government to achieve all the power. Since everyone needed electricity to survive, either directly or indirectly, owning this hex essentially owned all the power. I'm disappointed in the government's efforts to try and outbid for this hex, as they could have easily pooled all their money together and try and stop this, as they knew it was coming. I'm therefore ashamed in the government's works and efforts, but rather proud in my own. We could compare our nation's treatment to the weak to modern society in almost everywhere in the world, comparing weak as in poor. To this day, money is power, making richer people have more power, making the poor inferior, if that makes any sense. If, let's say, CEO of Apple needed someone to work on a website, he wouldn't be asking a startup company to do so, as they do not have a high enough standard and are not as powerful as Apple. This relates to how powerful people in Civic Mirror leave out the weaker people. I have learned that you should never trust anyone in this game, since many people have lied or tried to trick me. As an example, the mean Ismam tried to make me pay even more for living in the apartment I already had rights to live in. He had a grin on his face, and he knew I was going to have to give him money or else I would die. I thought long and hard about this to make sure I could not lose this battle. Ismam became very impatient and kept bugging me until I finally told him I would do the trade, but with a hidden twist. I didn't really think this would work, which is why I wasn't so sure. My plan was to click on everything he owned besides just money. When I sent him the train, Ismam filled with joy, as he thought he was going to get more money. I was happy as